Hello fellow anime enjoyers, today I'm here to watch the worst isekais known to mankind and try getting a bingo with this card full of the most common tropes. For that I need a line, column or diagonal, but this time I'm adding a little punishment. I've criticized and complained about bad animes more than enough, but I haven't done anything to make the situation better. So for every space I mark in this bingo card, I'll have to donate €2 to animated short film Kickstarters to help fund and bring to life new and unique stories. And as an extra, for every bingo I get, I'll gift 5 memberships from the channel to random subscribers. Let's see how it goes. First of all, I got all your 103 comments and put all the isekai suggestions in this wheel, which I'll spin to decide what anime will torture us today. And I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too. I can already smell the mediocrity from here. Well, that's already a long title. 4 euros gone, because we also have the free space. Sadly, we don't have crowded cover, but it's already a decent start. Before we start the anime, let me remind you, I can only stop once I get a bingo. If I never get one, I'll have to watch the anime until the end, sadly. Now let's get into it. The anime starts with the protagonist, Yuya, going to defend a random girl that was being assaulted in the streets, and ended up getting beaten to hell and back. But hey, at least the bad guys went away afterwards. Then the anime proceeds to list all the terrible things everyone did to the main character during his childhood for the sole reason that he is fat. The typical past life loser setup for the isekai. Another space. But one day he unexpectedly found his grandfather's secret room with weird junk that he collected while traveling around the world. And one of those things happened to be a door to an isekai. No way. And for my happiness, the first thing that appears when he enters the new world is the classic hologram box with a bunch of unlocked skills, stats points, and levels. Exactly what we needed to mark the RPG mechanic space. And another one I was just waiting to happen, since it's literally in the covers, him becoming a swordsman. And that didn't take long, because in his otherworld house, he had a bunch of OP weapons waiting for him, one of them being a sword. Couldn't be more obvious. Here it is. I'm just waiting for him to become the prettiest boy in the world to mark the generic main character space. But of course, not everything is just roses in this new world for him. Suddenly, a level 300 orc appeared to attack him. Oh, never mind, nothing can enter past this fence, he's invincible there. Well, I guess everything is roses if you are a generic isekai protagonist. After he killed the orc with one single blow of a spear and gained a bajillion skill points, I decided to mark the OP protagonist. I'm tired of waiting too long to decide those things. In the past I hesitated because I was scared of hate comments, but come on, it's so obvious this time, I won't beat around the bush. And the wait paid off, cause when he got home to sleep, he magically went from chopped to the ultimate hot guy. Which also happens to be the most basic design ever, as always. More money going away. The episode ends with him farming some more XP in that world and then going to school after summer break with no one recognizing him for obvious reasons. Alright, what a first episode. This is without a doubt one of the isekais ever made. With that said, I was already 14 euros deep into this challenge. Will I regret making this video? Will I go bankrupt and beg for money in the streets? I don't think so, but dramatic statements like this boost the engagement. Episode 2 starts with the girl that he saved at the start coming back to thank him and inviting him to his dad's prestigious school. Because being nice pays back like that, trust me with this one guys. Anyways, he then spends one day trying out this new school to see if he fits well. Things go a bit too well, with everyone always staring at him like he's a role model everywhere he goes. He also, and I kid you not, and don't be surprised, he makes friends. And people don't treat him like an inferior and filthy animal anymore, because he is not fat. Something society. Top 10 hidden social criticisms in animes. Just wish it wasn't made in such a cheap way, with everything being handed to him out of nowhere and using a billion of the same tropes as all the other isekai animes. So obviously he accepts staying in that school, returns to the isekai to grind a bit more and farms some more XP until he hears a girl in distress. Another girl for the harem. Of course, our man saves her by killing the bad monsters with his amazing gear. Surprisingly, this episode didn't get us a single new space. Maybe because most of the time we spent in the real world with this school plot instead of the actual Isekai, and this is an Isekai bingo, not a high school anime bingo, so it's natural. Either way, we continue with our journey. But before that, consider subscribing and maybe even becoming a channel member to support this kind of videos and so that I can donate even more next time. Also, consider joining our Discord server. I'm pretty active there and I chat a lot with the community. If you join and say hello fellow Isekai fans, I'll personally reply and welcome you to the server. This episode was once more almost 100% focused on the real world, and it's starting to become a bit of a problem. It starts with the main character going shopping for some clothes and being asked to model for a company that was desperately looking for someone to take the boyfriend role and replace the model that was late. So he accepts it and everyone loves it because he's sexy and they never get tired of reminding us about it, that's for sure. On the bright side, we finally got some fan service. I'm surprised it took this long to appear, honestly. At the end of the shoot, the model that was late arrives and tries to seduce the girl in a not so ethical way in the middle of the mall and then tries to punch Yuya, but he gives him a taste of the floor because he's an OP Chad like that. He gets offered a job as a model, sorry for the slur, but he refuses it because he's so humble and relatable and he thinks he's not good enough yet. He's just like me for real. We also see a bit more of the Isekai with the girl he saved wanting to find him again and bringing his knights to help her. Wait a second. Knights, magic, mythical creatures, nobles. That smells like a medieval setting. At the end, she finds him and we get the first marriage proposal. Yay! I can't wait for all the other girls to also fall in love with him, so I can mark the harem space as well. We're somehow already one space away from a bingo. We only need a magic school, which honestly doesn't seem very likely, especially if they keep spending most of the time in a normal school. The Isekai here is basically just an excuse for him to become insanely OP and hot. By the way, this is the funniest coincidence, but I just found out the author of this story is the same one that made The Fruit of Evolution, which is the anime I got in my very first bingo video. Coincidence? I take it more as a sign to stop watching anime once and for all. We continue our segment in the other world after the girl proposed and yapped for a bit, explaining she is a princess and some other non-important things. Afterwards, we return to the boring real world and the school plot. As always, everyone has to stop whatever they're doing to stare at him and let us know. Otherwise, how would I, the viewer, know? Then we get some more confirmation that he is the GOAT when he protects this girl from a ball by doing an amazing jump kick. No way. He even scored from there. And later, his two siblings that used to bully him decided to hire a gang to go kidnap the girl that invited Yuya to the school. What? I decided to mark the edgy space as well after he started being all Sigma and obliterating the bad guys. In a nutshell, that was the episode pretty much. We're in a quite precarious situation, not many spaces since the first episode, but we move forward. So, in episode 5, Yuya does a lot of cool things, such as... Are we getting a pet mascot now? Is he gonna save that small thing and... Now it's gonna be a pet. Getting a pet, getting every convenient and random reward he could want, including a bath, being the ultimate alpha male that all the girls want, being the best person in the world for everyone to see, finding a mysterious cave with a book from a sage. And if you couldn't tell, this anime is getting really boring and repetitive with almost nothing new to look forward in each episode. Everything is served to him in a silver platter with zero effort. I don't feel like narrating you what happens in this anime anymore. It's always the same thing. It's getting so repetitive. The whole time it's just him doing impressive things in front of others and everyone going like, wow, this is so impressive. Like, I get it, he is impressive. Impressively boring. I'm marking the 5 out of 10 or less, because right now the trashiness level is off the charts. And if being insanely strong wasn't enough, now he can also use magic. At the end, they tease us with some other characters in the fantasy world, but Who cares at this point? The Isekai thing is such a background plot that I couldn't care less about what happens there. I don't know if you can notice, but I'm tired as hell from this. Why did I decide to make an Isekai bingo again? Oh wait, it was because of the views and the money. Well, I guess it's my fault. I should have left the series dead. From this point onwards, I decided to use my secret weapon, the 2x speed button. I don't like watching animes like this because it's not how it was intended to be watched, so I'd rather drop, but in this case I'm watching purely for the bingo and the suffering. I couldn't care less and I just want it to be over. Only highlight of this episode is him getting another go for his not assumed harem. This is more the viewer's harem, because that's where the relationship is, considering the main character only serves as a vessel for your feelings. That's why I decided to mark that space. Now we just need a Kemono Mimi companion, aka a cat girl, dog girl, lobster girl, etc. Or a magic school, that also works. Yeah, I'm starting to group episodes now, because there's nothing relevant to talk about. The anime is becoming a harem slop fest with tons of bad fan service and nothing else going on. I can't believe we reached the point where even the teacher is asking the main character in marriage. I was about to say the story is as interesting as a rock, but at least the rock is important and makes sense to exist. No signs of any new spaces so far. Let's keep digging or die trying. This episode was boring, so instead of telling you what happened, I'll make a song and sing it.
Hot, strong Sigma, he was a but now he's not. Hot, strong Sigma, kills the enemies with only one shot.
Yuya is the best, he's so unfresh. Sigma, Sigma, Sigma. He rizzed up to all the girls, what did you expect? Sigma, Sigma, Sigma. He wins all the games, no matter what he plays. Sigma, Sigma, Sigma. With the divine he trains, they really need his aid. Sigma, Sigma, Sigma. But in terms of an Isekai, 13 episodes not enough. I think I'd rather die than rewatch all this stuff. Hot, strong Sigma, he was ugly but now he's not. Hot, strong Sigma, kills the enemies with only one shot. Hot, strong Sigma, he was ugly but now he's not. Hot, strong Sigma, kills the enemies with only one shot. This episode actually brought me a bit of hope. Yuya finally went to a town in the other world, so we had a lot of potential for slavery, Adventurers Guild, and some others. I even considered marking that last one when he went to this building to sell stuff and was given this guild card. It's implicit that it might be an Adventurers Guild, but I can't know for sure because it was never mentioned. So unfortunately, I ended up not getting that space. Last episode it wasn't confirmed, but in this one we definitely got Adventurers Guild. They do the classic registry, the lady gets surprised at how OP he is, and then they get some tasks to fulfill. No bingo. There was no bingo. He ends up getting lands and a house in the kingdom after helping them defeat a bad guy, but all of that for nothing. This is how we ended up. 13 spaces marked, which means I'll be paying 26 euros. Actually, make that 27 so I can divide it by 3. So I've selected these 3 fundraisers for animated short films around the world where I personally saw great potential. While I recorded the bingo, they already reached their goals, but it's still possible to donate more to give some extra help to the projects and the people working on them, which is what I'll do. The first one is a novel adaptation, Arlecchino and Pierrot, by The Hive Studio, a 10-minute animated short film about the story of 2 clowns performing in a cosmic circus aboard a train that rides through space. It seems like a very interesting and imaginative concept, and they already raised over $40,000, so I'll be adding a few more to that amount. The second is this origami stop-motion project called The Coldest Sun by Adil Burak Aydin. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. The entire world, the backgrounds, and the characters are all handcrafted with paper, which seems very charming and interesting. It's nice to see people wanting to create films with different animation techniques as well, so here's my contribution. And last but not least, Retired by Mary J. Blanchard. This is a 2D animation short film project set in a post-apocalyptic flooded town only inhabited by old people. Honestly, this has a vibe I personally love, and it reminds me a lot of the anime short House of the Small small cubes, which is really great. I definitely want to see this coming to life. Anyways, that was the video. Thanks to all the members that support the channel and all the fan arts you've made. I hope you liked it, and bye bye!